Since late March, Shanghai, which is the economic hub of China, started lockdown due to the spread of Omicron. In the past few days, we started to see a relaxation of the prevention measures and business started to resume. Wenjie, can you give us your assessment and quantify the impacts from this lockdown on the economy?
The lockdown in Shanghai started on 28th of March, and we are in the 9th week now. The daily new COVID cases peaked at 28,000 per day in early April and have dropped to below 1,000 lately. While the residents are granted some freedom, such as walking outdoor now, it will still take a few more weeks for Shanghai to resume normal. Apart from Shanghai, several major cities in China also implemented the restrictions on mobility in the last several weeks. While Shanghai alone contributes 4% of the national GDP, the Yangtze Delta region, which includes the nearby provinces to Shanghai, accounts for 1/4 of China's GDP. Considering the supply chain and the lockdown in other cities, we estimate during the worst phase in April, the regions impacted by full or partial lockdowns combined contribute 40 to 50% of the national GDP. This ratio has dropped to the 10% level lately. The impact is reflected in the April macro data announced recently. From a top-down point of view, we believe the impact will feel more on the demand side than the supply side. On the demand side, we saw a sharp decline in the consumption and credit growth. The April 2022 China consumption was down 11% year-on-year, which was worse than 8% decline registered in April 2020, when the first wave of COVID hit China and the world. Discretionary spending, such as buying cars, and also consumer service sector were particularly weak since many consumers were simply locked inside their house. On the supply side, we saw the impact due to the disruption of supply chain and logistics. However, the Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, didn't fall much in April, reflecting strong corporate confidence. The April PMI was 47.4, down 2.1% from the previous months. While this is below 50, which suggests a contraction of the manufacturing sector, the magnitude of the decline is small. On the micro level or corporate level, we see data confirming this view. For example, SMC, which is the world's largest pneumatic equipment supplier for factory automation, saw their April China order up 52% from the 2021 average. Companies based in China remain confident on the long-term growth and are investing in capex. In summary, we believe second quarter GDP growth will be weak, and this is likely to be the bottom.
Many Western countries have removed their restrictions related to COVID. In contrast, China remains its dynamic zero-COVID strategy. This includes mass testing, strict border controls, extensive contact tracing, and lockdown swiftly to stamp out new outbreaks when they happen. What is the exit strategy China plans? What is your outlook of China economy and the investment implications?
As we discussed in the previous episode, we believe the dynamic zero policy is necessary for China, but clearly this is not a long-term solution. In our view, China is buying time to come up with more effective solutions, including new vaccine, increasing vaccination rate, particularly among the elderly population, and developing new drugs. While many China economists have cut 2022 China GDP growth to the low single digit versus the government target of 5.5%, we believe to achieve the growth that is anywhere close to these numbers, there will be more policy support available later this year. We believe it is important to understand both regulatory cycle and business cycle. In terms of the regulatory cycle, we have seen a series of tightening regulations targeting internet, education, and real estate sectors in the last 24 months. However, this regulatory cycle is coming to an end, and business cycle tend to pick up with some time lag. As evidence, several Chinese cities have announced consumption vouchers and provide subsidies to car buyers recently. We believe China will maintain its accommodative monetary policy and provide more fiscal policy support. In the long term, we also believe China will increase investment in the social safety net, such as hospital and related infrastructure. The HSC China Fund's ambition is to hold the best 25 Chinese companies based on their inner strengths, valuation, and relative attractiveness. We have initiated a new investment in Oriental Yuhong Waterproof, which is China's largest waterproof material used for infrastructure this year. We will continue to look for opportunities which best fit our investment criteria. We remind the investor that the secret sauce to success is through long-term investment.
That's it for today. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again in the next episode.